Zero. I know I've been talking a lot about net zero. There's been a report that's come out overnight from the Public Accounts Committee, and from what I can gather, it basically says that there is no idea within government of how much it will cost to pursue net zero. Well, joining me is Mark Francois, Conservative Member of Parliament, who is part of that Public Accounts Committee, which has delivered, I think it's fair to say, a pretty withering report on a policy that was put in place by Theresa May without consulting the public at all. What say you, Mark Francois?
Well, Nigel, you are right. It's a scathing report. Remember, the PAC is an all-party committee. It has a Labour chairman in Meg Hillier. So, it's across the House of Commons in a sense. And if I were to summarise its conclusions in one sentence, it would be that the Her Majesty's government has absolutely no idea how much the transition to net zero is going to cost the British taxpayer, and equally, neither does it know how much it's going to cost individual families. So that is a pretty punchy, hard-hitting report, and I think it will have an important effect on the whole net zero debate.
Yeah, I mean, Mrs. Johnson is a very powerful figure. Lord Goldsmith, of course, been pushing this agenda very strongly. I've jokingly called the government sort of the new Richmond Green Party. But the problem is, Mark Francois, they appear to be absolutely committed to this.
Well, Nigel, two things. I mean, firstly, I think the situation in the Ukraine in terms of our and Western Europe's energy security, has to change this equation. I mean, I accept the science that we do need to do something about climate change. I mean, I'm not a refusenik in that sense, but it's a global problem. So by definition, it needs a global solution. The United Kingdom is responsible overall for about 1% of all global emissions. China is responsible for more than 25%. So even if you were to close down the entire British economy, we all went back to living in caves, given that the Chinese are opening 2 new coal-fired power stations a month, that wouldn't even begin to scratch the difference that the Chinese are making. So that doesn't mean that we shouldn't do anything, no. But it does mean to me that we should keep this challenge in proportion and not do things that damage our own economy, while other countries that emit 25 times more than we do appear to do little or nothing.
No, there's one further argument, Mark, that I believe very strongly in, and it's this. The more wind turbines you build, the more gas you need to back it up when the wind doesn't blow. We still need coal because we're still manufacturing steel, maybe not on the scale I would like, but we are. We still need oil, we still need these things. And it appears we're happy to import all of these goods without producing them ourselves, which we could. We seem happy to outsource and offshore heavy manufacturing. And we say, isn't it wonderful? We've reduced our carbon dioxide emissions, but net across the world, these activities probably put them up. The most contentious issue of all of this is that large gas field up in Lancashire. And I heard Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng the other day saying absolutely no way we are going to develop that gas field. Do you think, as a result of Ukraine, which, and you quite rightly say, should make us rethink completely our energy strategy and push, in my opinion, towards us being self-sufficient, do you think that debate can come back onto the table?
I think it has to, Nigel. I mean, I would, as you know, I've focused a lot on defence down the years. We've discussed this before. I think that what happened last week in the Ukraine is a game changer. It's something on a scale comparable with 9/11. And I think the government's integrated review of defence and foreign policy has effectively been completely overtaken by events. And one of the things we need to reassess, as well as defence spending, is our energy security and that of Europe. So providing we could do it safely, I do think, to be fair to the residents of Lancashire, we would need to make sure that this could be done safely. But providing we could do it safely, I think that we need to look at the possibility of fracking again. I agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's a debate that is going to come. Mark, thank you for for giving us some testimony on that really